Hey gun people, we're going to talk about Korea. And don't be cracking on my artwork. But before we get to that, I've been busy as hell. So I wanted to show a couple guys. We're going to get to Korea here real quick. On the battery, on all the old battery stuff, I got a Die-Hard little battery trickle charger. It's a little 2 amp. Put that on a couple batteries I was having issues with. So when I had this old one here, I think this is a 3 amp that I use for the motorcycle. But Sears had these on sale for 24 bucks. So I made me a little battery station there. The guy at the golf cart place gave me a great tip. He said put just regular water and mix baking soda in there. And you know, normally when you mix baking soda and water, it's white and it's, man, it completely dissolves. If you let it set for 5 or 10 minutes, it turns completely clear so it doesn't clog up your bottle. And then I just spray down all my golf cart batteries because I have 6 in there. I spray them all down, all the connections. It cleans the acids, then I hose it off. But that spray bottle idea is great for rinsing. And he goes, you don't need that chemical stuff, because he goes, most of that chemical stuff is just baking soda anyway. And then the other guy who gave me a tip about getting the Vaseline out of my nightstand, and I could rub that on there after I clean it. The guy at the golf course shop said be careful about putting Vaseline or coatings on your connectors unless it's absolutely clean, because if you don't clean it good and there's a little piece of acid still underneath there, when you put that Vaseline on top of it, it seals it in there and it makes it corrode faster. So I don't know if that's true. I'm sure some battery guys will be on me. But anyway, so I have this little battery station. I put those shelves up. Then I added a couple shelves here, and it got me on a shelf mission. So I've been putting up shelves. I put some shelves over there, put a set of shelves there, put a double set of shelves there, and then man, so my video production been weak. Put a set of shelves here, and then one more set of shelves there. So I'm pretty much done with my shelves. Actually, I got one more because I put these shelves up earlier and it kind of sticks out from the wall, and I wish I hadn't done that, because when the door slams or the wind comes in, it always blows it off. So I'm going to take those down. I just got these 2 pieces of wood here, and I'm going to make that recess like the rest of these shelves, so they're right in between those 2. But anyway, let's get to Korea. So those are the little projects I've been going on. So we're going to talk about Korea here, and what's going on and the repercussions of Trump, Syria. I know a lot of people be like, oh man, he's going to crack on Trump again. I am going to crack on Trump, but there's some good things that Trump did. One more piece of ketchup. Ben Moorhead. Man, he made me a nice freaking nightstick. This is East Indian rosewood. And he put a Morgan silver dollar at the bottom. 1880, 100-year-old coin that was probably thrown on a bar to buy some whiskey off a shelf. And he put this thing on the end. I forgot what he put on there on the back. He told me he put it in there epoxy. But man, what a nice stinking, just the craftsmanship. And it gets bigger down here, so it's almost like it's weighted without being weighted. But man, when you swing this sucker, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, I'm going for the fence. Ben, thanks a million. Really appreciate that. If Ben he watches the video, so in the comments, if he puts his info, I'll add it to the description. So Ben, whatever you want to give out, if people want to contact you, I think he said he does make them, or he doesn't make them, or he still may make them. But anyway, if he wants his information out on this, I'll put it in the description. So let's get to Korea, because Korea is carrying a big, South Korea is carrying a big stick. And so let's take a look at this. I'm going to zoom in on geographically real quick so people understand. Now, I was stationed in Korea a couple years, 2 different times in the 70s and 80s. And the Korean Peninsula is kind of just this little piece down there. I got the DMZ, which divides both of them. And then the top part, which is north. I know I got to explain that to liberals. So north is on top, south is on the bottom. So the north part, which happens to be called the Democratic People's Republic. I like the way they put democratic in there. Anytime you have suppression of free will, communism, socialism, negative freedom, they'll always throw in democratic. Yeah, okay. And the Democrats always want to say we have a democracy in this country. No, we have a republic. But I digress. So the DMZ runs right through the middle, and it divides South and North Korea. And again, the DMZ, it's also called the 38th parallel. People that were over there during a war say it's the 38th parallel. That used to be kind of like the division of the North and South. Then when the North attacked the South in the war, and they fought them back. They pushed them back to the 38th parallel, which is where the DMZ is. Now the DMZ is there. So the DMZ is about 160 miles long, and it's about 2.5 miles wide. So the only thing in the North Korea, if you notice from my excellent drawing of map here, the only area that really borders North Korea is China, and Russia comes down there at the tip there. And so North Korea is communist, so China and Russia both have interest because it's close to them. So because we have troops there in South Korea, and we used to have nukes there, I don't know if we still have nukes there or not. Now they probably just got them in submarines cruising around. So we always have nukes everywhere. We don't have to actually have them on what they call on CONUS or on the island itself. It can just be cruising around a submarine surrounding it. That way we can say there's no nukes in South Korea. Although there's a submarine with 6, 8, 10, 12 nukes sitting on the coastline, it's not in South Korea. So that's how they fool the sheep public into believing that we're not there. Now the Korean flag, if you see the Korean flag, my excellent drawing, if you're from Korea, sorry, no disrespect. I did the best I could. I even put color. So when you see a Korean flag, I've seen people fly the Korean flag upside down sometime. And because the flag kind of is generic, it's easy to put upside down if you don't understand. Remember, red for communism is always at the north, blue for freedom is always at the south. So South Korea is free, North Korea is communism. So when you fly the Korean flag, it's always got to look like this. If you see it with red on the bottom, you know it's upside down. So back to what's going on here on North Korea, or North and South Korea. So North Korea, the war started in 1950. It ended in 1953, but it's not really ended. And there was 3 million deaths there in that war. So it was a pretty costly war. So although the war only lasted 3 years, the wars never ended. Technically, North and South are still at war. They just signed, I think, an armistice agreement, or people call it a treaty. And they agreed not to attack each other, and they agreed both to hold at the DMZ, and you guys won't come in our area, and we won't come in yours, and we'll just have a ceasefire. Well, since that ceasefire, there's always shit going on at the border. Remember, it's only 2.5 miles. So there's people living in South Korea and North Korea that can see across the DMZ and see people. And I'm sure they're flashing and Morse code and all kind of shit. But, you know, Korean military, South Korean can see them, and they'll shoot back and forth. When I was stationed there was a helicopter that was shot down there. We had to go in and get the pilot out of there. So they found tunnels. I think they found, I don't know how many times, 2, 3, 4 tunnels, huge, that you could walk in 3 to 5 abreast. And they were digging a tunnel on the DMZ so they could plan another invasion. So North Korea has always kind of been a pain in everybody's side. So as much as I dislike Trump sticking his nose in Syria, speaking of Syria, what about the children? I mean, ever since we sent freaking, I don't know how many bombs over there and bombed an airport where nobody was at, that we told them we were coming before, the Russians told them they moved the planes, and we destroyed an airfield that they were flying out of the next day. Woohoo! Go Trump! All the Trumps were like, yeah, we bombed Syria. I ain't heard one word about the children. Did that one bombing mission somehow end the war? Did it end the suffering of the children? Did it stop what we said we went over there to do? Because they were for the children. They were using gas. It was horrible. It was against the Geneva Convention, Rick. Well, they shouldn't use. And there was a lot of reasons to go over there. One time, one bombing, didn't do shit, ain't heard a damn thing about it since. Call that a clue. Okay? I didn't like it when we went over there. I didn't like the way we did it. My opinion, I know a lot of people think it's great. Send a message. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Trump this. Okay, great. If it was so important that we had to send bombs almost immediately, why aren't we doing anything else? We pissed off Russia. Well, that's going to come into play right now. So I'm reading this article about Beijing is about to cut off the oil to Korea. So because China produces all the oil, and the only way for North Korea to get shit is either through China or Russia. They ain't getting it from South Korea. So, and that may change because they may start opening up. So the only way for North Korea to get shit is either through Russia or through China. Now China provides most of the crude oil there, and if they cut their oil off, guess what? North Korea's got problems. They can't be the tough guy. So evidently the meeting that Trump had with the China president was a good thing. Because now China is putting pressure on North Korea, saying, we're going to threaten to cut off your oil if you keep with this nuclear bullshit testing. Ooh, that's a big move. Now, North Korea will never attack China. They only want to attack the South because it's freedom, because it's the U.S., because if he attacks us, remember, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. So North Korea is like Russia's enemy with America, so he's my friend. China's enemies with America, so China's my friend. So an enemy of an enemy is my friend. So North Korea won't attack China or Russia, but he damn well would love to start on us because he knows since China and Russia help him, that it will drag the U.S. into conflict. Well, so Trump meets with the Chinese president, and now, it just released today, China is threatening to cut off the oil to North Korea. Good move. Trump, he may not get credit for this. Good move. I would have much rather him do that than freaking bomb Syria and piss Russia off. Well, Rick, Russia don't care. Who cares about Russia? You're always worried about Russia. We don't care about... I'm telling you, actions have consequences. Russia is pissed now. They don't trust us. They think it's bullshit we stuck our nose in their allied business, so they have incentive now to help the North. They have incentive to stop us from pushing the North around. They have incentive to not cooperate with us in controlling the North. That didn't exist so much before Trump had to attack Syria. Rick, it's for the children. I got it. But if he did it, it cost him a lot. I always go, when you take action, there has to be a cost and reward. You have to evaluate everything from a tactical perspective. What am I going to gain and what can I lose? And is the risk of what I have to lose worth what I can gain? And attacking Syria gave us absolutely shit, except for Trump to say, look, I got big hands, don't mess with me, I'll send a message to everybody. Woohoo! And instead, it cost him a relationship with Russia. So, Rick, who cares about Russia? Well, I'll tell you who cares about Russia. Russia's building up now, and they're moving forces and tanks and equipment along the border now by North Korea and China. Well, Rick, why does that matter? It matters because if he starts helping North Korea, and we do something to North Korea and shoot down his jet, now we're in a war with Russia. Well, Rick, we're not scared of them. Rah, rah, rah. Cool. Yeah, they got nukes. Yeah. And then if China has to come in, are they going to take Russia's side or our side? Well, who does China border with? Who is closer to China that could probably do more damage? My guess is Russia. Who do you think China's going to side with if Russia and the U.S. go to war? I hear all this shit about, oh, China's going to collapse and they need our money and they'll never... Okay, that's great. But when the missiles start flying, do you think they're going to support Russia or us? I don't know. I can't say. But my guess is China's not too much about freedom. They're not too much about the USA. And they like that Russia respects their area and they respect Russia area. My guess is they're going to lean toward Russia. Now, are they going to openly come out and not support us? I don't know. But actions have consequences. And when this Syria thing happened, and I'm tired, I know everybody's like, man, why is he beating a dead horse? We got it. He didn't agree with Syria. It's not that I don't agree. It's not that I want to be right. I don't really care. I mean, it's a shithole. I don't care if we freaking nuke the whole sand area. The consequences of that action will impact everybody for what? What do we have to gain? Are we stopping them from attacking us? Hell no. Everybody we killed in Syria, their kids are going to grow up and want to strap a bomb and be influenced that, you know what? I remember when I was a kid, freaking the USA bombed an airport and killed my dad. And me and my mom had to live off rice for 20 years and I can't wait to get back at the USA. That's how you get people to hate you. So, what did we gain from Syria? I got it. Trump, woohoo! I got it. Quit telling me what we gained. I got it. I think we lost more than we gained. I think it was a bad move. So, good, bad, and different, that's how the Korea thing's heading up. This is how Korea is affecting Russia and China. And we got one little area here that we've had troops there forever. And in Korea, when I was stationed there, they still have a hangar out there where they hung all the Air Force guys on meat hooks. And the Air Force was defending the base out there, and the North Koreans came in, man, they killed everybody, and they hung alive all the Air Force guys who were fighting and defending. They hung them on meat hooks in the hangars. And they hung them off this big tree. And they call it the hanging tree. And the tree was still there. I don't know if it's still there now, but when I was there, it was still there. So, you know, I guess I have some connection. I understand South Korea. I understand they're about freedom. They're about, you know, free market. They're not about communism. They're not a dictatorship. I get it. South Korea is better than North Russia and China. I get it. But how long have we been there? How much money have we spent? We've got all our naval forces there now. We've got all these troops there now. And people, if you've got somebody, a nephew, son, daughter in Korea right now, let me tell you, it's freaking miserable. Every time something happens in South or North Korea, South, man, I was at Osan, so we're like about right here. So we're 2 minutes airtime from the DMZ. So anytime North Korea wanted to mess with us, they would fly their aircraft right up to the DMZ. We'd scramble our jets, the sirens would go off, we'd go in 12-hour shifts, everybody would run in, we're canning out guns, ammo, everybody's getting ready because they're crossing the DMZ, and then the planes would turn around and go back. And they would probe and harass us, and they were probably seeing what our response was and what we did. So it was a constant thing, just them flying planes too close to the DMZ. With the tensions now, anybody over in Korea, man, they're just screwed. I feel sorry for them because they treat the military like shit. Those guys are working 18 hours a day. They ain't getting hot chow. They're eating MREs. They're sleeping in tents. They've got to multiply, double, triple up. They got people flying in. Supply lines are getting trash from others. I mean, they are in such a build, and I'm not there. I don't know anybody there. I'm just telling you how it happens that nobody ever knows. Because of this, when you see a little news article over here, it may just sound like, oh yeah, we're sending naval forces over there. No. If we're sending naval forces there, everybody there is planning for war and getting ready, and everybody's getting built up, and they're sandbagging, and they're going into higher threat cons, and there's higher people checking, and you got to have 3 times as many people working as you would normally have. And you only have so much downtime, and everywhere you go, you got to have what's called a war bag. And you got ammo and a gas mask and a flak vest and all your filters and all your biological filters in case they use chemicals. And you got to carry this damn bag around with you like it's tied to your hip and it weighs 40, 50 pounds. And you can't go eat, you can't go to the toilet, you can't go anywhere. You got to have this bag because when the siren goes off, you got to be ready. And that's what they're living in South Korea right now. Man, I'm so glad I'm not there, but I feel sorry for the guys that are there because they're living in total shit. And when the U.S. and the people hear all these things out there, they don't really think about all that, and they don't understand the complication or the implications when you take action. So hopefully that gives you a little better understanding on Korea and what's going on and kind of my take. Again, you can disagree with me. I'm not saying I'm perfect or I know everything. I'm just telling you from my experience and reading the news and kind of figuring out how things are. That's my take on it. All right? Hope you enjoyed it. We'll end it there.